should have brought tape.
Really have to put. I have some.
Yeah.
I think I pulled a corner over so she should be able to.
It's in my heart. Oh no.
Yeah. Maybe we should have it on that side so Brandon can see it. Since he's the one that can't function properly.
Yeah, you can put it by me.
Over that way more.
You want me to go sit over that anymore?
He's sitting right there. Hi, Pete, how are you?
Good, how about you?
You know, not bad.
Oh, she's gonna handle it all. She's gonna handle it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's got it all worked out.
Thank you.
Have your hand here, so you're welcome to sit closer to Angie or let me, it's your choice.
You're sitting there. Hi.
And hello.
I voted it. Drop off some Gatorade for the volleyball players. Ball's last practice before the holiday, so I dropped off some Gatorade for the coaches to hand out. It's like a lot of the teams do the Secret Santa, but I'm like, parents are so Secret Santa. We'll just provide treats for the girls and call it a day.
Stairs, right down there.
It's like the gym entrance.
Yeah.
Down the hall a little bit.
It takes Apple Pay.
I would imagine that if you change it to somebody, they're gonna go out and have.
I think he said it.
I don't either. Text Kate and tell her. And then have her do it. It's gonna be first, second happen.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Gordon from the Rochester Post Bulletin. We met a couple months ago.
Yes.
Good to see you. I just wanted to see if it would be possible to kind of get an update on the mediation process with the teachers.
We're gonna be talking about that later.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thank you much.
Thank you.
Hello. Hey. Yeah, I think whoever knows this. They were asked for, which we had permission to get. He's like, that's fine. Hey.
Ashley. Good, how are you?
Oh, okay. Oh, you come to me. You come to me. How are you? I can never hear at lunch.
I'll make a note that she's late too.
She's like, my kids don't know how to practice yet. They're supposed to be done at 5. Auditions for emo? I don't know. She's like, no one's telling me they're supposed to be done at 5. So
Interest is a lot of information.
She gave me the.
Well, or two documents.
See, we don't see each other. It's fine, we get in trouble. We have to see. It's probably for the best anyway. Do you have a quick link or did you download the agenda?
Yeah, it's on the,
I'm good, how are you?
it's on the link to the video. So like if you go into the YouTube video, I put it in there
Oh, okay.
in the description.
How's it going? Well, it's good. Shower. Yeah.
What? Text them. Are you in? You're talking.
Yes, it is perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, good, yeah. I was kind of in and out, I didn't get it all, but yeah, it was a good 2 hours. And it'll be interesting because he's retiring, right? Brad's retiring.
I had asked her to renew the mission and I signed.
Okay, if you don't mind me putting home while I'm people going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, how are you? Good, I'll take mine off.
I know. I'm gonna take this.
How's that for grandstanding?
There's one under there for that.
Okay, it is 6 o'clock, so we will get started tonight here. Thank you. It's good to have a good crowd tonight. They're pursuant to two policies, and you can look those up. Policy 505, distribution of non-school sponsored material, and 904, distribution of material on school district property. Signs have to come down, so we'll start as soon as those are down in front of you. Appreciate that. The ones on the back window back there. I'm thinking about. Thank you, guys. We just got two more up there. If you want to grab those two, you just set them down back there. Okay, thank you, everybody. Appreciate that, by the way. We do have a quorum here tonight. Patrick is not able to make it, not feeling well tonight. If you would like to address the board, you're certainly welcome to come down and sit with us and chat. We do have a couple already that would like to chat. Okay, so if, again, the comment cards are at the back. If you get them to Ms. Peterson, Dr. Thompson, or myself before the public input, we'd be glad to have you sit down here and chat with us. If it's on the same topic, if we have a number of them on the same topic, we will give a certain 15 minutes and split that up amongst people that are chatting on the same topic. With that, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is behind you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Thanks, Angie. In a second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Kate. Any discussion? Anything anybody would like to change on the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the agenda, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And we're on to truth and taxation public input. I don't have anything here for truth and taxation tonight. But if anybody would like to chat on that, certainly welcome to do that. I'll give them a minute here. Okay, and I don't think I have not received anything. I don't think Mr. Haas has or Dr. Thompson. So we'll continue on with communications and truth and taxation presentation. Mr. Haas has that. Thank you, Mr. Haas.
So as a property taxing jurisdiction, we are required to hold a hearing on an annual basis for a property tax request. The property tax request is for the calendar year 24. It's actually revenue for us during the 24-25 school year. And the bulk of our levy is based off of everything that's found in state statute. You as a school board have very little say in this whole process. The people that probably should be sitting here are the legislators and the governor, because they are the ones that basically set all those formulas. As in the recent past, what's been happening to the property values in the district, we're continuing to see rapid increases in the overall market value. The overall market value increased by about 17% for the coming year, which equates to about $230 million increase. Over the last 5 years, that's about a 48% increase over what it had been. So it's pretty sizable what's happening to the property values here in our district. The adjusted net tax capacity, which is what the property taxes are based off of, increased by about 19%, which is another substantial increase. Our property tax levy for the coming year is about $7.1 million. And that's through the 3 funds that have property tax as part of their revenue. The largest part of the tax request falls into the debt service fund, which goes to pay the bonds on the buildings, pay that debt off. 36% goes to the general fund and 2% goes to the community ed fund. With the increase in the property values, we're continuing to see that shift between property taxes and state aid. So as the property values go up and our enrollment is remaining relatively flat, the state in their formulas base most of what the property tax and the state aid pots are is based off of the amount of property wealth that you have per student. So as the property wealth continues to increase and enrollment remains relatively flat, that shift is taking place where more of the revenue is being shifted to the property taxes versus the state aid piece. Doesn't mean we're getting more revenue, it's just changing where the money is coming from. And that's been kind of taking place the last 4 to 5 years. Also in the report, further back, I just have noted here that we've got the budget information for the current year. And then we also included those summaries on those 8 properties that we've been tracking for the last dozen years. I don't know if there's any questions that you have specifically. I could sit here and read through a bunch of numbers, but property taxes aren't that interesting. So, open it up to questions if you have some.
Any questions for Mr. House? All right. Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
It's a lot of work for a few minutes here at a board meeting. But thanks for putting all that together.
All right, thanks.
Okay, with that, we will move to 4.2, comment accommodations. And I'm not sure who's kicking this off.
Yeah, we listed a 6:30 start for comment combinations.
Yeah. Yep, we can. And our student board reps aren't here yet. So we will move to 4.4, consider the approval for the resolution for the acceptance of gifts and grants.
I, Angie Richards, introduced the following resolution to accept and move for its adoption. Whereas First Presbyterian Church has generously offered to donate food valued at $25 to KMHS Comet Pantry. Whereas Holland and Dylan Harris have generously offered to donate a trombone valued at $220 to KM Middle School Band. Whereas Linnea Holmes has generously offered to donate a trumpet valued at $200 to KM Middle School Band. Whereas Carrie and Aaron Babcock have generously offered to donate a beginning percussion kit valued at $450. Whereas Magnolia Steele has generously offered to donate $1,000 to the KM Community Education Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And whereas Ryan Perma has generously offered to donate $16,000 for equipment and hardware to launch the high school tech teams.
Thank you, Andrew, for that motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Brandon. Any discussion on that? Yeah, once again, very generous donations from our community, and it's nice to see us be able to launch the tech team at the high school. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the resolution for the acceptance of gifts, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And we are on to, since it's still very early, we'll move to board committee reports, starting with land facilities. I don't think we've met since, but anything for land and facilities? Okay. Personnel has not met. Anything from personnel, Mark? Okay. Then we are on to finance. We have met a number of times. We just did meet today and mediation, and had a positive meeting. I will share just our one statement from that as we get started here today. So today, school district negotiation team and union leadership met for over 7 hours. While the position of the school district and KMEM union moved closer, there's still a significant gap that needs to be bridged before a settlement will be reached. The district shared the last best final offer, including salary improvements resulting in a majority of members receiving between an 8 and 12.99% increase in salary, including steps and lanes. The school district proposed additional step movements for the most experienced teachers with master's degree. Significant additional longevity pay and contribution towards health insurance benefits were also included. The district's total package offer increased from 9.625 to 9.937. The district is eager that we will have a successful completion of these negotiations. So, comments from negotiation team as we have this discussion?
I just wanted to add, our last offer had 125 out of 149 teaching staff getting an 8% or greater raise, and all full-time staff getting above 4% for just the salary increase or the wage increase.
You see a couple documents and stuff here in front of you as well. Looking at just, past contract settlements and stuff, we're just giving you a little context as far as where those have been positioned over the last 6 contract cycles and stuff. The average is about 7.1. Our current offer would be in the 9937. And in the current offer too, it's given the average 2-year wage increase of 9.03%.
Thank you. I think this, it's good information for past contracts to little context to where we're at today with the 9.937 current offer from the board. Again, I think that with the offer that we have out there, I think it is important to see where the staff lies in that. Again, 14. I think it's up there, but 14 members have between a 4 to 4.9, 8 on the 5 to 5.9, 1 and 6 to 6.9, and then you go to 8 and 8 to 8.99 is 26, 9 to 9.9%. And again, this is salary increases. This is wage only. 64 in the 9.0 to 9.99, 10 to 10.99 is 9 more, 11 to 11.99 is 14, 12 to 12.99 is 12 percent, or 12 people. The 2-year wage increase is 9.03 on those wages. We did also, for the board, print off the increases that each staff member would be receiving in percentages. You have that in front of you. We will be making a subsection of that without any, just with the 2-year wage, the 2-year package, and the 2-year wage percentage available for everybody to take a look at. That is, thank you, Carlin, for bringing that up. So you'll see we start 12.57. And you have a page and a half. The first page runs down to 9.32, and then when you get to that second page, you're at 9.24, running down to just over 4%. Again, the one individual that was 3 to 3.9 is part-time. So what does that look like? Package assumptions are steps and lanes in both years. Add 1 step to the MA lane in both the first and the second year. So first year MA lane will have 11 steps, and the second year will have 12. So again, it was really an area of focus that we felt like KMA was requesting that those people in the bottom right we're seeing falling behind, and so we heard that and focused on that, and that's why we added those 2 steps. Why in the MA? Because we're encouraging people to move that direction to get their masters. Beyond that, there's a $150 increase in monthly family health insurance in year 1, and $100 in year 2. Yep, $150 a month on family health insurance in the first year, and $100 a month in family health in the second year. And then on a single, we're at $50 a month in the single health care in the first year, and $25 increase in the second. So just to clarify, that's $50 the first, and that 50 continues, so it's another 25 that second year. And the same thing on family, it's 150 the first year, and then another 100 on top of that in that second year. 1% on Schedule C in both years 1 and 2. Schedule C again is your extracurricular activities, and then there is a significant longevity piece to this, and You have that, I believe, somewhere in your packet that, I don't know, I have it right in front of me. So there's a longevity piece, and then there's a healthier you. And I'll let maybe Dr. Thompson talk a little bit about the healthier you there. And then there was one other additional $600 stipend to make sure that we had one staff member that was below 4% to make sure that they were over 4% in the 2 years. So, Dr. Thompson, anything you want to share?
Just a little bit with the healthiest you. I know that health insurance is certainly a main concern for most people. And so we're trying to work together to lower those costs. And as we talked about before, the healthiest you is a virtual kind of clinic that you can call into 24/7 and get a hold of them. The idea here is to reduce the number of claims that we would have with our insurance so that we could reduce or at least keep health insurance as close to being the same as we possibly can. So like I said, we're trying to work together. The school would pay for half of that cost and we'd go from there. So that's a big ticket situation for us. So that we think that was very important to help reduce the cost now and in the future.
Board members, questions for us? Thoughts or questions, I should say.
Thank you to our negotiations team. I know it's been a challenge, and I appreciate you rising to the occasion to work with KMEM to find steps towards a solution. One comment, so this is all about our contract settlements past and then where we are today. But I know as a board, we've also had discussion about what is affordable for our district. Because while we can compare to what we have in the past and what we can compare to other districts, you know, it's just like our own checkbook is at home. There's only so much funds in that checking account. And so I guess maybe wanting to hear a little bit more from the negotiations team on that perspective.
Somebody want to take that first, or do you want me to start? I would say that the board gave us, directions about not deficit spending. We feel, okay, I'll just say I feel that we are there at that point with this offer. Beyond this, I would have concerns about how we would fund that going forward, but I open it up to.
Yeah, it was very, very closely looked at, but also concerned with remaining competitive in Premier. So having a competitive offer and acknowledging what that looks like allowed us, I think, to extend as far as we did with our last final offer. Just given the future situations, the future issues with staffing and moving forward, that we can remain competitive and grow slowly in the next few years and not have to do a massive jump anytime in the next few years.
And we know this, we're reaching our, kind of our upper limit here. But we also feel very, very proud of the offer that's going forward. And we feel like this is a great offer to, as a raise to all of our teaching staff. So.
Just another thought on that is the fact is that the board goal is 10%, as you know, and our audit came in between 5 and 6% that we have in our, general fund. And then of course, it's 8% is about what we need to pay the monthly bills. So we're always looking at that as well. So we need 8% in our fund balance to pay the bills.
So where does this leave our fund balance with this offer?
So That's a really tough question because things are changing all the time. Inflation in general, fuel costs and other expenses. I will just say, I feel like we could make this work, but I don't see that we'll have a significant growth in our fund balance.
We were getting really creative to make this work in our meetings in an effort to come to an agreement.
The other thing too is that a lot of our other employee groups are still yet to come to negotiate, so we still have all those people to work with as well.
Dr. Thompson, I appreciate you pointing that out because our teaching staff is incredibly important, but so are our support staff in the classrooms, our custodians who keep our school facilities clean, and it's a team effort in order to take care of our kids. So, thank you for pointing that out.
When, in our discussion and when we work with these numbers, we're trying to work with those two, understanding that in the past practice has been we bring every other contract that we would shoot for rate just barely below what we settle for. So really when we settle with KMEM, that typically sets the threshold for all the other contracts that we're negotiating. So that's what we use when we're trying to figure out the budget. Fair question.
And we still have our administrators and bus drivers and those people to settle with too as it comes through. So we have a lot of people that we need to deal with yet too.
Dr. Thompson, I have a question for you about the healthiest to you. I really appreciate getting creative because healthcare is a huge concern. And I haven't had an opportunity to look into it, but you had said that this, in the offer, the school would pay half. What is half? Do we have an idea what that is?
Yes, we think it's going to be about $12 or $11.56 a person. So we would pay half of that, and then the employee per month. Then that employee would pay the other half of that.
Perfect. Thank you.
And at first we started with a higher number, but then we also realized that not just the teachers have this, other employees have this too. So we backed down on that a little bit so that we would include that and it wouldn't be going against the teachers in their package for the other people.
Thank you.
I think one of the things we've tried to do is listen to what union leadership believed was a focus and work that way. And we don't always hit it right away, and we try and work towards that. And we're also open, and we have been open to if they have somewhere else or some other way to use that money. We have a dollar figure, right? To use that money, we've been open to them providing that or using it in a different way. It's always a tough balance because you're balancing the healthcare and providing healthcare with salaries on the salary grid. Then you've got longevity and people that have been here, and you're trying to balance all of those. It's not always an easy thing to do, and appreciate getting feedback from union leadership on that. And they bring that. So just my thoughts there. Other thoughts, questions?
I hesitate to ask, but as we're talking about fund balance, so we're looking at, we're in between a 5 to 6% fund balance currently. I know that we have this hanging unemployment possibility out there that could tip our cart over, right? So we're not making any strides toward the fund balance. In this type of situation, has there been discussions with this? Would this make us look at having to right size or make really difficult decisions on elimination of programs or any of those situations? I mean, we're kind of on a teeter-totter right now.
I think in the future, we're gonna have to consider some things that we haven't previously considered.
And we're always looking at making sure that we're right-sized, making sure that we have the right number of teachers in the classrooms based off of the number of kids that we have. As far as the unemployment, right now it's appearing that for the current year, the state's gonna have enough dollars to fund that. And it's probably going to be enough for probably maybe most of next year as well, depending on how things continue to shake out. That's kind of one of the big unknowns, so.
I just, there's always that in the back of my mind that we could end up with this big parachute at the end of year 2. And at the end of year 2, there's not a lot of funds left to cover it.
Two things are still making me very nervous. One is the READ Act, and the fact is how we're going to be able to fund that. But even more important, I think, too, is the legislature all of a sudden says we're in structural imbalance, which makes me very nervous. And the fact is that they're not going to have enough money to maintain and sustain some of these programs that they've implemented. So, just in the news the other day, it was, surplus of 2.5 million, but 2.1 billion, 2.5 billion and 2.1 billion of it is already spoken for. So they're getting pretty nervous about that. So makes us nervous as well. So are we really going to get the money that they said that we're going to get? Plus this new ESST hours is going to be something that will have some impact on us as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, I think something else is that, I don't recall the exact numbers. I think we're 325 out of 328. So that is huge, but also in the future, I think it's a big possibility that we'll probably have to be looking at a referendum to maintain all of the programs we have, to maintain the excellent education. If we acknowledge that we are getting the lowest funding, I think we're going to have to really get creative with solutions for our district.
I would love to see our board seek out more opportunities for funding, such as solar power, and how we can use that to our benefit and save our district some dollars and even maybe make some money off of that, and just different things like that that are out there. We've seen some other districts who have been very successful in doing that. And I think that now's the time, especially in a situation like this, that we need to really get serious about that.
Any other thoughts, questions? Well, so I'd like to also thank other two committee members. It's a tough balancing act to be fiscally responsible, but try and get as much into our staff's salary and benefits as we can. And I think they did a nice job. 84%, roughly 84% of our staff would receive over an 8% increase. And I think that's a good number. So thank you guys for your work so far on this. Anything else for finance then? Okay, then we'll continue on into policy, and I don't think we've met.
Policy has not met. The policies that are up for approval tonight, we discussed in November, and I have not heard any, I have not gotten any additional questions or information to share.
Thank you, Amy. And student activities, doesn't look like student activities is met. Nothing there.
Zed has not met, but I'm very excited to share that on the agenda. I just received it this afternoon for Thursday, as we will be approving the joint powers agreement. That's been a lot of work put into that, so that's going to be very exciting.
Thank you. Thanks for that work on that. I know that's been a lot of work. So. Anything for Zed? Do you have anything?
Congratulations to them. I heard about what a feat that was and how many districts they had to get approval from. So that's incredible. Thank you.
Okay, so we also have community education have they met? Okay, go ahead.
We had a meeting last Friday, maybe the Friday before. So community education, our advisory council met. We had a a lot of different topics, but a couple that I wanted just to bring to the board. So with the help of Bob in the office, they went through the childcare rates for the future. And so that'll, I think Jenny will be presenting that to the board at a future time, but I appreciate that she goes to the advisory council too at REC to make sure we have staff feedback and make sure we have parent feedback, obviously board member at the table as well. And so we also talked about the staff turnover rate in community education. It was really enlightening. So we compared to some statistics too. And so in childcare workers in general, as far as their national statistics for turnover, 69% in the childcare setting. And we have had a lot of conversations at this table about childcare in our community and the challenges that we face. So I'm really happy to report our childcare setting through community education as well below the national average for turnover. But it's something that we continue to struggle with to make sure that we balance entrepreneurs in the community offering childcare as well as community education supporting the needs of the community as well.
Thank you, Angie. Anything for Angie in the community? Legislative, anything?
It's been a busy month with working with C. We've had 3 meetings actually. I'm on the executive board, you know. I'm also on an ad hoc committee, which we're going over how the organization is going to look in the future. And then we had a general meeting last week. I started with the ad hoc meeting. Mostly discussed that we are going to change our name, and we came up with Schools Advocating for Fair Funding, so SAFF. Our vision is kind of the same. We're going to be advocating for improved tax equalization and fair funding. Kind of the structure of the executive board. Currently, we have one executive director, which is Brad Lindahl. He's going to be retiring here in June. So we're thinking about having an executive director, a financial specialist, an office manager, and then actually hiring a chief lobbyist. So the executive director would not be a lobbyist like Brad is. So we're hoping it's going to be cost neutral, which we have to do. One of the things we did talk about in our executive meeting is some of the finances. We're staying above water right now, but the problem is a lot of these school districts are looking for cuts, and they're cutting, joining our organization to save some money. But as far as the executive meeting, really interesting. I had a couple of guest speakers. Jane Duffy, she's a MTSS coordinator for NBE. She kind of basically talked about that program in general. The other guest speaker was Dr. William Doherty, which he's a professor in the Department of Family and Social Science at the U of M. And very, very interesting discussion about his presentation was called Managing Difficult Conversations in a Polarized Time. And he's actually part of an organization. It's actually called Brave Rainbow, but it's an organization that has workshops and different resources for organizations to, at this polarized, across the country, there's such a polarization, basically between mostly political views and stuff like that. And it's just going to be, I'm actually going to join on my own. It's actually a good resource. So that was about it. So, yep, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Anything from Mark? Okay. One thing I should point out back from finance, the slides that Carlin put up there will be available on our district website under negotiation update. So if you're looking for that information, it's out there for you. And with that, I think we will jump back to common accommodations. I think we have to maybe Mr. Langmo and Mr. Langmo going to kick this off.
Good evening, board and audience. My name is Trent Langham. I'm very proud to be the high school principal at Kasson-Mantorville, and it is my honor to present a couple of different awards and recognitions tonight. I'm going to start with the December Students of the Month. Each month, our staff collaborate and select one student per grade level. They are chosen amongst the entire grade level, and these students stand above the others in the areas of responsibility for themselves and others, positive role models, offering help to others in need, and progress academically. One student per month per grade level. Come on down when I read your name and stay down here for a picture with the group for the month. 9th grade, Emma Engdahl. 10th grade, Chase Myers. 11th grade, Owen Nelson. 'The Senior Student of the Month gets a little write-up about them. And so as I begin to read her write-up with the Senior Student of the Month for December, come down, Paige Vogel. Kasson-Mantorville High School Senior Student of the Month for December is Paige Vogel. Her quote is this: "If you try your best, good things will follow." That's the philosophy Paige feels has helped her be successful both in and out of school. Her hobbies include reading, singing, playing the flute, baking, and hanging out with friends. Paige is employed as a barista at Caribou Coffee and also works as an assistant at the Animal Health Care Veterinary Hospital. The following school activities keep Paige busy: drama on the Drama Booster Club, Minnesota Honor Society, Knowledge Bowl, students teaching about refusal skills, that's locally known as STARS, head of the makeup for the drama department, and sings in chamber choir. After graduation, Paige plans to attend Luther College and major in communications with a minor in music. In 10 years, she hopes to be working in the film industry as an actress or makeup artist. Again, congratulations to all of our students of the month and Senior Paige Vogel. I'm gonna ask if the board can just, we're gonna bring our, actually, no, I'm gonna keep you right. I'm sorry. The reason I had to think about that is because this next gentleman is getting kind of two awards. One of them was the December Senior Student of the Month, and I thought about having him join in, but he's going to get his own picture. Okay, so Adam Darvo is getting 2 awards tonight. He was, we decided to do them both tonight, but I am going to read his write-up from the December Senior Student of the Month. So actually, Adam, why don't we have you just come down and stand up here for the whole thing, okay? Okay, Senior Student of the Month in November. Well, what's the philosophy that you feel has helped you be successful both in and out of school? It's this: one specific virtue I try to embrace is adaptability. There are always things that come up in life, and there will always be unexpected challenges that you have to face. The best thing to do is acknowledge that you can't change the past and move on with the future by doing the next right thing. This philosophy has helped me be successful both in and out of school. Adam loves to be outdoors, whether he's hiking, fishing, or camping. He's also enjoyed being involved in sports like football and baseball, and he likes to write for fun. Golfing with friends is another hobby. He's active in school in football, baseball, Knowledge Bowl, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Link Crew, and the KMHS band. When he's not, I'm not currently working, but last year he worked at Casey's and plans to get another job soon. After graduation, Adam plans to attend a four-year university and major in actuarial science. In 10 years, he will hopefully have launched a successful career in a field that he finds enjoyable, maybe even starting a family and living in a rural area. So that's the recognition from the Student of the Month. Now, another very prestigious honor that I am privileged to get to give to Adam tonight is the National Merit Scholarship Commended Student. And I would like to read a little write-up from that. Kasson-Mantorville High School would like to extend our congratulations to Adam Darbo for achieving the status of National Merit Commended Student from the National Merit Scholarship Program. Adam's high selection index score of 208 placed him among the top 34,000 of over 1.9 million students who entered the contest. And this was determined by the 2022 preliminary SAT, the PSAT test. So the president of the National Merit Scholarship Program had this to say, quote, "Those being named commended students have demonstrated outstanding potential for academic success. These students represent a valuable national resource, and recognizing their achievement is vital to the advancement of educational excellence in our nation. We at Kasson-Mantorville High School are proud of Adam, and we want to congratulate him on this high scholastic achievement. This special recognition is the result of his hard work, perseverance, and dedication, not only in academics, but in activities. We commend Adam and offer congratulations to him, his parents, and all the teachers and classmates who have encouraged and supported him throughout his years at Kasson-Mantorville High School. National Merit Scholar Commended Student and November Student of the Month, Adam Darbo."
All right, I'm next here, Brock Train, Activities Director. I get the honor of giving out a couple more awards for Comet Coins of students in our district. The first is called the Excel Award, given by the Minnesota State High School League. Each school district in the state of Minnesota selects 2 juniors, a male and a female, for this award. And they fill out an application and selected by a member of our school district. This Excel stands for leadership in the community, education in the classes that they take and their success rate in those classes, and also being a leader in the different activities, the various activities that they're in. And these 2 are involved in many different activities. The male award winner for this school year is Ian Kuya. And the female is Ava Trinan. Next, we have a couple of our fall activities that were awarded several different accomplishments throughout their seasons. First, I'm going to bring down volleyball coaches Larry Hagerly and Allie Persick. Is there more coaches involved here? Is Cody here? Thought I saw him. Come on down, Cody. All right, I'm going to let them talk a little bit about their accomplishments, but just wanted to say just what an outstanding job that they do running their program. No I's are undotted and T's left uncrossed with them. They are outstanding communicators, leaders, and they put forth a tremendous product every time they're on the court and off. So I'll let whichever one's going to speak first. Larry.
Really see it first. I can do this. Well, our volleyball season this year, the girls had a mighty goal of getting to the state and didn't quite do that. But without that goal, they wouldn't have probably gotten as far as they had. So we ended up tying for first in the HVL. We ended up with a number of people on all conference and all state form, or lists. Two of the all state people, Abby Disted. Why don't you guys all come on down? Nellie asked, it's very unusual to get one all-state person, but to have two on the team is fantastic. You can hear him say Ellie? Okay, Ellie asked also. We ended up losing the finals of our section to our rivals next door to us. And the girls had a great fight. One of the things in volleyball is usually the volleys don't last very long. The average volley in volleyball is between 6 to 8 seconds. And then it's done, and then we serve over again. They had a volley this year of 1 minute and 26 seconds, which in the record book is the second longest in the nation. And it's not that they just did that, but they also, the only way you can do that is play like a team. And this year's players played like a team. They gave so much to each other and ended up loving each other it was a tougher the season to end. Anyway, so I'm very proud of our coaches, Allie and Cody. Thank them for all that they've done for this program.
All right, before we do a picture, we do have a couple more of the accomplishments that they have for their academic side of things. They were also named to the academic gold, which is the top standard for their average GPA, grade point average as a team. And then also we had two individual gold members, Kyle Engel and Skylar Plisek.
Thank you.
We have one more. Head coach Joel Swanson came down and visited us at the last month's school board meeting. And to give a couple of awards, one, that he had a football player playing in the All-Star game, and that occurred, and Easton had a great time. They also had a couple more accomplishments, and I'll have him come down and talk about those along with another individual award. So Coach Joel Swanson. Come on down, guys.
All right, well, we can rewind what Mr. Hagley just said, kind of the similar circumstances to the guys here. They had a great season. They got the district championship. We ended up finishing as section runner-ups, but also, just like with the females, the guys performed outstandingly in the classroom and were awarded the gold award from the state in our class, which means you take the top, 35, 40 kids from your varsity team, and they average out their GPAs. And if you finish like in the top 4, you receive the gold award. And then if you finish in the next 5, you finish with the silver award. So it's quite an accomplishment. These guys were all part of that, then being district champs, section runner-up, and receiving the gold award from the state for their academic accomplishments. And then Spencer Anderson wasn't able to be here tonight. He was selected by the Football Coaches Association for being all-state academic. So it's just a privilege. All these kids that you guys helped raise throughout, and they've performed in an outstanding way. We appreciate everything you've done for them. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dave Thompson. I'm in the soup here at Kasson-Mantorville Public Schools. It's my pleasure to ask Kelly Schmidt and Megan Melhouse to come down. These two ladies were recognized for their nature-based kindergarten project, the fact that the MREA state conference award winners is very proud, and the fact is there's only 2 schools in the state of Minnesota that got this award, and we were one of them, so congratulations. They just didn't get up there to have fun. They had to work up there as well. They got to go to a lot of different sessions, but one of the sessions was at night was a learning summit, and they had a table that people kept coming and coming and coming to find out how they do their work here. And it was really fun to watch them explain this. Matter of fact, they were the last ones to pack up because people kept coming. So very, very proud of them. And one other nice thing that happened, that we got a $200 scholarship to help promote their program. So congratulations, very proud.
Oh, yeah, we have.
No, okay, everybody's in. 1, 2, 3.
One for the kindergarten at home.
One thing is these two make JJ a little bit nervous as they're thinking about maybe using the $200 for some fire pits. So he doesn't want them to start fires out there until at least the snow flies. So we're still waiting for the snow to fly. So again, thank you very much for all your work and extra efforts. The next thing I'd like to recognize are the staff members that put a lot of extra time into Eagle Bluff. They've been doing this for over 14 years, and I really appreciate all the extra time and efforts that they put into it. The other thing is a lot of leadership that goes into this. I was able to go down and be with them for a half a day, and it was fun to see them, all the things that they had to do with the kids, and even I got to watch Mr. Nelson go up and over a major barrier, let's just put it that way. It's fun to watch them, the kids get excited to go on all of the ropes courses and those kind of things. So with Travis Robertson, Sloan Suze, Chris Soderberg, Matt Erridge, Joel Olson, Michelle Jacob, and Matt Nelson, please come down. That's okay, we like to give Joel a little hard time here. But one thing I just wanted to add here is the fact is that, they create a memorable experience. If you talk to your children, or if you've had children that have gone through, the Eagle Bluff is an experience that lasts a lifetime. And it's very, very important that we all realize that, because they spend a lot of time and effort getting these kids. And also, not only do they have to kind of plan things for the kids, but also for the parents. I think we had 30 plus parents also that went down. So it's a big trip and a lot of time. They don't get paid anything extra to stay overnight and all those kind of things. So we really appreciate it. So let's give them another round of applause. Thank you.
Allie, are you here?
Hello. Good evening. My name is Allie Smith, and I am the Child Care Program Specialist at Project Kids. Over the course of my professional journey, I have dedicated more than 5.5 years to community education, with 5 of those years concurrently spent in service to the United States Army Reserve. The Army Reserves has provided me with invaluable flexibility, enabling me to pursue both my individual career goals and my passion for serving our country. Typically, my military commitments involve attending battle assembly once a month, usually spanning 2 days over a single weekend, and a 2-week period during the summer. However, due to dynamic nature of military operations, these schedules are subject to change, often with minimal notice. In the current year alone, I have been called to duty for an additional 25 days beyond the scheduled weekend. The unplanned duties took me to various locations, including Fort Lee, Virginia, Camp Dodge, Iowa, and Camp Ripley, Minnesota. Today, I am presenting the Patriot Award, an honor that acknowledges extraordinary efforts in supporting citizen warriors. This award is a testament to an individual's commitment to providing a supportive and flexible environment, understanding the unique challenges that come with military service, and going above and beyond to ensure the well-being of those who serve. The recipient for the Patriot Award is someone who has consistently demonstrated exceptional leadership in this regard. This individual has not only shown a deep understanding of the challenges faced by citizen warriors, but has also taken proactive measures to make a meaningful, impactful on my personal life. This outstanding leader has worked tirelessly to provide flexible schedules, ensuring that military commitments that I have with the necessary time off before and after training and duty. The genuine care for the well-being of our citizens in uniform extends beyond the professional realm and into the personal, creating an environment that allows for a seamless balance between civilian and military responsibilities. It is with immense gratitude and deep respect that I present the Patriot Award to someone who has made a significant impact on the lives of those who serve our country. Please join me in congratulating our remarkable recipient, Jenny Carrier, whose dedication to supporting citizen warriors has truly earned her love of the experience.
I am very honored, Ellie. She started with us very young and still young. And I am a person, I'm a doer, I'm not really a talker, so sorry. I don't have a lot to say and I'm so surprised, but Ellie is just a tremendous young person. She has so much going for her. And I wholeheartedly support people, that are giving their lives and their time to our country. So thank you for being a part of our program and thank you for this. I appreciate it. Pretty official.
And I think that does it for comment accommodations. Congratulations, everybody. If you came for comment accommodations, certainly welcome to the league or stay around. With that, we're going to move to 4.3 Student School Board Rep Report, Abby and Sydney. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. Floor is yours.
Good evening and happy holidays, board members. It's been a great month filled with a lot of winter sporting events, and the students are really excited for the holidays, and we're all just trying to get everything done this week before our last day of school on Friday.
So starting with sports, girls hockey is 9-1. Friday was our hockey buddy and mental health awareness night. So far, we've raised $1,313, which all goes towards Aiden's Light. And then we have 2 games this week. Tomorrow is home versus visitation, and we'll be celebrating senior night. And then Thursday is away at Breck. And then boys hockey is 5-3 so far. They have 1 game this week against Laverne on Friday.
And then girls basketball is 2-3. Our first win came against Lake City on a really exciting buzzer beater. And then we also won last Friday versus Hastings, which is a really awesome game. And then we have 2 doubleheaders this week with the boys basketball program. Tuesday, tomorrow at St. Peter. And then Friday, we have a home game against Lourdes. And the boys basketball program is 2-2.
The boys also play 2 games this week. They're okay. Wrestling has 2 meets this week. Thursday is home and versus Lake City, and Friday is at Chatfield. And then gymnastics just broke the program record for varsity high score on Friday. And they have one meet this week, which is Friday at Stewartville.
Both of us are in the student council here at the school, and throughout the month of December, we've been raising money for Toys for Tots through selling candy canes, which is something we do every year. And so far, we still have the rest of this week to sell them, but we've sold 1,500 so far. And that gives us a $1,000 profit, all to donate to Toys for Tots, which we will be spending this Friday as we go shopping for Christmas toys after school. And so far, the seniors are in the lead with the most sold, and our very own Abby Simons has sold the most individually with 159.
This week, we also have our holiday dress-up days. So today was PJ Day, tomorrow is Flannel Day, Wednesday is Christmas Socks, Thursday is Christmas Character Day, and Friday is Ugly Sweater Day. And then Student Council is awarding candy to the best dress each day to entice people to participate.
Last Tuesday, we had our 9th through 12th holiday choir concert, which went really well. It was very festive. And we had the 9th, 10th concert choir and chamber pieces. And then we also had a total choir piece, which I heard sounded amazing.
And then we also had our 9th through 12th band concert a couple weeks ago. It was really good and very festive. 9th, 10th concert band and jazz band all played a few pieces.
Today was the deadline for seniors to get their baby pictures in for the yearbook, which was just another big step in our final year of high school, which was super exciting.
Students are excited for the new Quick Trip opening this Thursday, and it will for sure be a big hit, especially among juniors and seniors who have open lunch. We had an assembly this morning discussing safety with the new Quick Trip as well. And that concludes our December board report. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Questions for them before we let them go?
I just wanted, oh, go ahead. I was just saying, this isn't a question, but if you would consider selling candy canes at every hockey game, that would be much appreciated. I would just look to put a plug in for that.
I always have my little sister walk around with my bucket, not gonna lie.
That's how she's in the lead.
I also wanted to point out how much your groups are invested in giving back through Aiden's Light and through Toys for Tots. I think that's so cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know that Friday is Ugly Sweater Day. That it explains why my daughter wants to borrow one of my wife's sweaters.
The double header, how are, I believe those started here in Kasson-Mantorville and now have progressed, and we have other people doing them. How many schools, do you know how many schools are doing double headers, boys, girls, like basketball?
I think a lot of schools in our conference do them just because we kind of do them with them. I'm not sure exactly how many you do, but it's honestly really nice because then you get both programs supporting each other and it just brings a lot more fans to the games.
I wonder if they ever do that with hockey. I don't know. Maybe it's not possible, don't know. Anything else for Sydney, Abby? Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Have a Merry Christmas. Okay, so now we'll jump to 4.6, administrative board reports. I think that's it. So administrative board reports, board members, anything for administrators?
I was just wondering, Nicole, would you be able to walk us through the chart of historical data that you put in your report? Thank you.
So you are looking at from 2017 through current. So the first column is your speech language, and then your DCD. So that's your developmental cognitive, mild, moderate, and then severe profound is the next column. SMI is severely multiply impaired. And then physically impaired, and they call it HI, but that's our hearing. And then vision, SLD, speech, that's our specific learning disabilities, EBD, emotional behavioral. Deaf and blind is the 0 column. Other health disabilities, autism, traumatic brain injury, and then developmental delay is our early childhood up to age 7. So that is looking at our enrollment compared to our special ed population and looking at our percent of special education students within our district. So this year we're at 14. We've stayed pretty consistent over the years.
Would you expect that number to rise as the school year continues? Or at this
I always think it's gonna, but I would have thought this year, we've had a lot of referrals this year, but we'll have to see at the end of the year. So I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Larson, can you talk a little bit about the Courage Retreat? I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with it.
Actually, it's something that I participated in back in probably 1999. I think over at Holy Family Catholic Church, and so it's a tradition that continues. Mrs. Blue and Mrs. Campbell do a great job. We work with Youth Frontiers. They send down 2 to 3 to 4 people that come down and just speak to courage, standing up for one another, basically building a community of kindness and trust. And it's something that goes over really well with our students. Obviously something that we work to progress throughout the year to ensure that our students take that information and promote kindness with each other, in school, out of school. It's just a great opportunity for our students. So, something that we are excited to continue.
It seems like that's always a success. The other question, that second annual computer science advisory. We talked about that a little bit. I don't know if you both want to take that or want to say that.
So the first week of December, 26th, we had our second annual computer science advisory meeting. The first meeting was advised that we do it virtually, so we did a virtual meeting on Wednesday. We had quite a few of the original members attend, and we shared what we had done in the last year since we met, what things we're working on, asked for input from them.
We have some great community partners that were involved and some leaders like in the region as well. So we're just excited to share, which is the feedback that we got from that group in May and started working on a scope and sequence and it's not really us, our teachers that are working on that in all 3 of our buildings. So what does that computer science skill look like in kindergarten and how does that kind of move through our system as kids move through? So that the committee was really recommending that we get a clear picture of that. So that is in the works for this year. And then at the end of our meeting, Ryan committed to the second installment of that donation, which was really exciting. He was really sent us an email and called the next day and said he's just really impressed with what our teachers are doing with robotics, coding at the elementary school is new this year, new course offerings at the base school. So we're just very, very grateful for that to keep moving us forward. Because what we learned again is that Minnesota ranks the opportunity as far as computer science offering for our high school students and education. So we are working to remedy that. You'll see a lot of things coming up from MDE soon as far as computer science groups. And connected to some of those people, and we're hoping they'll come to our spring meeting and connect with us. But we're just really looking to increase opportunities and offerings for our kids this year.
I was just going to say congratulations to that. It's an example of creative ways to offer students great opportunities here and to do it with a collaborative partner that's in the industry. I also wanted to congratulate Community Ed. They noted $15,000 in grants And again, those are great, really creative opportunities and ways that we can purchase things or provide opportunities for our youngest learners.
Speaking of opportunities, the job fair, do you want to talk a little bit about that job fair? Yeah, internship.
Yeah, so that will be coming up on January 5th in the afternoon at the high school. We opened it up to Dodge County, so we have students from Triton coming over as well, just to give our business partners some more opportunity to connect with other students. We talked actually with Mayo today about some of their new opportunities that are coming up, so that'll look a little different. It's not quite so research-based anymore. There's more of a pathway for working with students. So that's a new opportunity that we just learned about today. But I believe we have about 35 to 40 businesses coming. Eric Schofield, our high school teaching and learning coordinator, is working really hard to set that for us this year, so we're grateful for his time and leadership. So we look forward to that event.
Thank you for that work. Other questions for administrators?
I have a comment more than a question, and this is for activities as well as specifically for Mr. Larson. I am so impressed with how the different activities advisors that you have engage the students and get them to want to be involved, especially getting these students to step out of their comfort zone and to try something new. I have seen a huge change in my own student in her confidence just because a few teachers really went above and beyond and encouraged her to try out Knowledge Bowl. And I think it's really awesome that our teachers and activities advisors are willing to put in that extra time to make this a great opportunity for our students to grow as citizens. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Beck.
Anything else from our administrative report?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment a little shout out to KAAL Weather Lab who came into the elementary school. That is such a cool way to help educate our students, and the fact that they do that at no cost to the district is incredible.
Anything else we have? Okay, then we'll move on to 4.7, Superintendent Thompson. Thompson, your report.
Thank you. I have to admit, I'm not nearly as excited about Quick Trip opening as Abby and Sydney are. I have to be honest about that. Actually, I've been calling quite a few of the city, county, MnDOT officials that I possibly can. Even called up, I talked with Senator Carla Nelson. This is her district now. To talk to her about especially the location from Houston's down to the roundabout is still a 50-mile-an-hour speed zone. I'm very concerned about that. Also coming from the south, from Mantorville, is still 50 miles an hour. So we want to try and look at that, try to get that reduced. Look at the sidewalk area and stuff there. Also look at is it a school zone or not a school zone? That has me concerned as you know, the juniors and seniors have open lunch and they're going to be fired up here. Talked to Mr. Langmo. He had a meeting with all the kids today, so hopefully they understand the safety aspects of it. So that's one thing I think it's important to talk about and know that we're trying to still. When I called up MnDOT lately, they said they've done their assessment now. It's just a process of getting it rolling and getting something done. The lady told me, Heather told me that it's going to take some time, which always makes me a little nervous as well. But hopefully, because 57 is the state highway, so it takes a little more time to do that. So that's a concern that we're trying to deal with as well. Also been doing the state and school presentations with PTA and the Lions Club. They seem to have gone very well. I'd like to thank people who are part of that as well as Ashley and Jenny were also part of that. So I'd like to thank them as far as that's concerned as well. We did the chamber as well. And we're working hard on our administrative goal setting meetings. We're pretty much done with those now. So that's kind of the plan with that. The next thing, if you want to take your books out, we'll continue on with the book study. Chapter 6, Positive Teams and Communicate and Connect. The admin team is done with it already, and so we're still working through that. We're going to be going on to another book right after Christmas. But basically, I think if we look on page 79 there, that first paragraph kind of tells it all for the chapter. Positivity is the glue in the process of building a powerful team. But to truly have a great team, you need to do even more than just positive. You need to communicate, connect, commit, and care to create a meaningful relationship, strong bonds, and team unity. And that's very, very important as we build our teams to go together. On page 80, talking about communication is the difference between good and great, how important communication is if we want to be a great team. Over on page 82, talks about communication builds trust. Trust generates commitment. Commitment fosters teamwork, and teamwork delivers results. So that's what we always want is results. So we want to start with communication. The next one, page 83, was an interesting concept too. Where there is a void, negativity will fill it. So we want to make sure that we don't have voids in our communication skills. And on page 84 talks about how we can fill the void. 85 talks about one-on-one communication. So how that's very, very important. And page 87 talks about some listening and how listening enhances communication. That listening is part of that communication. Page 89 is communicate to connect, how that's important. And the bottom, page 89, team beats talent when talent isn't a team. So we have to keep looking at our team and teaming together. On page, over on page 93, talks a lot about team building and how we want to continue to make the connections, and because these connections don't happen by accident. Over on page 94 and 95, the author gives us a couple examples on how we might connect with each other. And quite honestly, the admin team did number 4, the Triple H, hero, highlight, and hardship. And that was very interesting as we went around the room and talked about our heroes, our highlights, and some hardships that we had. And you can see there's some other applications that we can do. And then page 97 talks about how communication and teamwork is worth it. Page 98 talks about making the connection is always worth it. And that's kind of it. And last page, on page 100, the last paragraph there, connection and commitment both rise when all the members of the team commit themselves to the team and show they care. So this one is kind of about the C's, the communication, the commitment, and the caring and the connections. So what different kind of things did you pull out from this chapter?
I guess the biggest thing I took away was communication builds trust, and negativity fills that void if you don't have that. So just, for me, that's pretty important.
For me, it was on page 81, where it talked about becoming a connected team. The me dissolves into we. And I think for any team, whether it be us board as a team, whether it be us in the entire school district as a team, that we really need to focus on the we and not the me part of it.
I like that part too. I think it also needs to take into account like where other people's values lie and the acceptance of that when you're not focused on just saying your message all the time, but you're accepting the messages that are being brought to you within a team. Builds connectivity and cohesiveness.
Anything else before we move on? Okay, thank you, Dr. Thompson. With that, we are moving to public input, and I have a number of public input here. Let's just take a quick look through. Let me take a look through some of them. Okay, I'm just going to start at the top here. The very first one is Nick Warden would like to talk about school board leadership. Nick, if you're here, I'd like to stop down. Thank you for coming.
Can you hear me all right? Yep, that's fine. All right, my name's Nick Warden. I'm a citizen here in Kasson. I have 3 children that go to school here. I have a wife that works for the school district. I used to be the hockey coach here. Not from Kasson, I'm from Rochester originally. I've had the opportunity to manage millions and millions of dollars of the work around this country, rebuild after Hurricane Katrina, testify in the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. And I've watched from a distance the past 8 years this district, and I could not be more disappointed as a citizen. My disappointment comes from this board right here. The lack of overall leadership is appalling. The lack of looking in front of your feet a ways and thinking about things so you're not in a situation like you are today drives me crazy. You preach about comet excellence in trying to be the best, create the best. The whole theme of tonight has been what? Pat each other on the back. Pat our teachers on the back. How great they are. You're doing such a great job. It's amazing. They know that. You don't have to tell them that. They're the best of the best. Our students, the reason that they get all these achievements is because of them. They raised them. And there's a saying down the road about 20 minutes from here that the needs of the patient come first. And those needs don't get fulfilled by crappy people. It's the best people that Southern Minnesota has to offer. That's why those needs get met. And if you don't meet the needs of the teachers, you're crap in is crap out. It's never going to go anywhere. And I don't think you're doing enough. And coming up here and talking about book studies and wasting time and not doing public input till the end, it's the worst time management I've ever seen. You got to be kidding me. Letting people sit around for 3 hours, they'll have families to go to. And you make them wait till the end of the night before public input? You got to be kidding me. The lack of communication. When was the last time you were in a classroom and really got down deep and said, hey, Mr. Denter, how's it going? What's it like? What can I do to be better? How can I support you? I don't think it happens. How many of you went to the high school musical? Probably 3 of you. But yet you're eager to hand out a comic coin and jump in a picture. Are you kidding me? How many of you have been to a hockey game? Ever since the program was started? I coached it for 5 years. I've seen 2 of you at a game. But you want to preach about how great it is. What a great program. What a great job everybody's doing. Get engaged, fully engaged. And don't just go to the things that are going to make you feel good. Go to the things that you have to improve on. And I think the relationship with the teachers, I couldn't drive home enough. The lack of relationship and the fact that you even have to go to mediation is embarrassing. You should be embarrassed that you even have to go to that point. You should all want to jump in a room with all these teachers as fast as possible and say, how can we fix this? How can we get better together as one unit? Let's not throw fuzzy numbers on the wall that they all disagree with. No. What are the real numbers? What do they really want? And then let's look at it. What do we have to carve out? Maybe we don't need skin on the bleachers. Maybe we don't need fixed bleachers at the football field. Maybe we don't need brand new monument signs. Maybe we need to defer maintenance for a couple of years. Maybe we truly got to think outside the box. Maybe we do need a referendum. And maybe we should have thought of that 4 years ago instead of bringing it up tonight. But what I've observed the last 8 years is you act like puppets to the leader that was here prior. And that gentleman pulled all the strings and you just walked along. No, stand up for what's right. These meetings, you should be nonstop back and forth, battling for what's best for the kids. And have hard conversations. Don't go through the motions. That's a waste of time. I've had the opportunity to be in a lot of tough meetings before, and they're the best when you almost come to blows. You're mad at each other, but then you can go down and have a drink after and work it out. And you have to have hard conversations. You're not doing that. And if you want some public help to help get through this process, there's a bunch of brilliant people in this town. Go get some help. Let them help mediate it. But don't hide behind a bunch of lawyers. That's ridiculous. We're better than that as a community. And I would expect better as a citizen. So your void in communication, it's not a little void like your book says. It's a gorge. And I think you got to start at 50,000 feet instead of playing in the weeds all the time. And you got to fix that first. And until you do that, this is going to happen over and over and over. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Next we have Laura Gerhardt. She would like to talk about loyalty.
Hi again. Just wanted to sit down for a second and talk a little bit about loyalty. I was really hoping you guys would have a tentative contract for all of these hardworking teachers coming to this meeting. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Being that I've been at every school board meeting this year, I feel a lot of vibes around loyalty when discussing compensation for our teachers. You believe that the staff will be loyal to you in this district while you continue to let them down. And it's important that you know that I do not see that to be the case. In my opinion, these teachers are not loyal to you. They are loyal to this community. They are loyal to our kids, and they are loyal to each other. They do not owe you loyalty. You owe it to them, yet you do not show it. Where was your loyalty when teachers like Chelsea Bombecker forced out, or Mariah Bickle, or what about Anna Showers or Jenny Wittenbach? Where was your loyalty to the ones still here all day, today, while you try to show them that they matter enough to be able to feed their families? You have failed to ask for a referendum while knowing that we need one. While these teachers continue to remain loyal to KM families, it's time for our families to show our loyalty to them. Put a referendum on the ballot. Let us show them how much they mean to us. You blindly and fiscally irresponsibly showed your loyalty for someone to years who, when things got tough, hightailed it out of here without a single thought. How's your loyalty feel now? Mark is gone. And if you guys can't figure out how to work together and do the right thing for the most important people in this community, come re-elections next November, I hope some of you are gone from this table too. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Wilcox. Katie would like to speak on engagement and responsibility.
All right, it's me again. I can't promise this is the last time because I'm not giving up this fight. This past year, with the health insurance increase of over $400 a month, has been extremely trying on my family. With my master's plus 44 credits and 8 years of teaching at KM, my current monthly take home is $2,172. Thankfully, I have grandmas who fight over my kids. We only have to send our boys to daycare at KM Community Ed 4 days a week, but that costs us $2,108 each month, meaning I net $64 a month. No matter how much I try to pitch pennies and track every expense, this is not maintainable, especially since we have a $10,000 deductible compared to the $5,000 deductible we had last year. I have mentioned this multiple times, both via email, during public input sessions. That being said, I do not feel like I am being heard. You are listening, yes, okay? But do you understand the burden that is being placed on our teachers? Are you reflecting on how much our teachers are hurting and what you can do as a board member to help? Are you taking an initiative to repair the broken relationships between staff and board in order to advance this district forward? At the middle school, we often ask our students to be respectful, responsible, and engaged. I feel that at times this board has fallen short in those categories. I have emailed all 7 of you 5 times since January for a variety of reasons. Kate and Amy have responded each time. Otherwise, I might be lucky to hear from one of you, maybe. I don't believe that that is being responsible in your role, nor have you been engaged in listening to all of the stakeholders that you serve. Here is my request. I'm asking that you reflect and respond to at least 2 of the questions that I'm going to ask here in just a second by mid-January. I will send you an email so with the questions so you don't have to write them down, but I am truly seeking to understand here. So if you would prefer to answer these questions in person, maybe at Chaotic Coffee Shop, I'm more than willing to do that. My first question, I truly want to move forward from the August school board meeting, but my strength of consistency will not let this go. I am okay with conflict and having hard conversations, and I too can be very direct. However, the manner in which one board member talked to another was very unprofessional, and it would not meet the KMMS standards of being respectful. At KM, we also ask students to be upstanders and upstanders all the time, and I only saw one member be an upstander and pause the conversation. I would like you all to reflect on how you would have handled that situation differently. Question number 2. One of my other strengths is harmony, and it is very obvious that the school board and staff are not seeing eye to eye. I would like to know how you plan to personally change that dynamic between school board and staff members and how you think that relationship can be mended. I also know that it takes 2 to get along. So what is something that you wish the KM staff would do differently in order to mend this relationship from our side? My last question. It is known that KM is one of the lowest funded schools in the state of Minnesota. This is a choice, as the board has not acted on the levy or referendum in the last 10 years. I do encourage you to stop talking to referendums and levies as infecting taxpayers. The word infection has a negative connotation, and as a teacher, I will not tolerate the idea of funding and supporting schools by infecting anybody. You could say you don't want to increase taxes, but do not put infection and the quality of education in the same sentence. Now to my question. How do you plan on uphold the mission and vision of being a premier and excellent school district when you are not paying teachers a premier and excellent salary? What is the plan to in the future when our educated and experienced staff moves to other districts that do not pay the $7,000 below the state average? I truly look forward to hearing your response. I am seeking for understanding here. Thank you.
Nancy Bo, retaining teachers and staff.
My name is Nancy Bolt. I have worked for 35 years at the KM district. I don't reside in this community, but I have spent a good majority of my life here. I've been a volleyball coach, a softball coach on district committees, and involved in lots of committee and community things through my tenure here. Twice during the years I have been here, people from the district I live in have asked me to apply and go to their district. And I've thought, each time I thought really hard, and I decided against it because of the connections with the staff and the families that I have made in Kasson. Currently, there is one teacher left of that group of friends that I taught with and I had those feelings about. All the others left to go to a place that had higher pay for longevity of teachers. We spent a good chunk of our time putting money to attract new teachers in our district and forgot about our veteran teachers. I've been through many contract negotiations, numerous school board members hearing always saying we don't have money. And the teachers have agreed during my tenure to take a hard freeze, a soft freeze, with the board saying we'll make it up to you. We have changed our scale horizontally and vertically so that we were told we could get to the bottom to make more money faster. And then you started putting all the money up to the younger or the new teachers and didn't put any money on the bottom. I want you to know that 7 times in my career at KM, I have made less money than the year before. 7 times. One year I made $3,981 less than the year before. $3,981 less. In 2010 to 2012, I made less than I did in 2009. So it took 4 years before I made what I did in 2009. And that isn't, and some of it is because of the squishing, some of it is insurance-based, but I don't know any job where a person has made less than they did the previous year. Why is that okay to continually ask teachers and staff at KM to do that? And by the offer that was put on the table today and the insurance rate that we have, we'd still be at that point where we're going to make less than we did the year before. Many of us. And I concur with what has been said before. I have been told by numerous community members, there's no point to email the board, they don't answer. So I did this fall, first time I've ever done it. I got an answer from Kent, Amy, and Kate, and nobody else. And if I got an email from a parent and I didn't respond, I would be called into the admin office immediately. And I know that maybe some of this has to do with our past leadership. So I encourage you, Dr. Thompson, to get these people to respond to their stakeholders. Even if it is to say, thank you for reaching out to us. We appreciate you getting a hold of us. You don't have to give us your view, but we want to know you read it. And by not responding, you didn't read it. And then when the parent goes to the principal, we come back and we have to respond. So that's what people want from you. And in that email, I also challenged you to get in the schools, which was also said earlier. Get into the schools and see what's going on. I have seen one board member spend the day at the elementary, and that was Kate Ryan. Spend the entire day in the kitchen, wiping the tables, all over the place. And I stopped her in the hallway and said, I appreciate that, but get in the high school because that's where you don't have your kids. And she said, you're right. It's on my list to do. I challenged you to get in the buildings, not go have lunch with your child or go see the basketball game. Get in the buildings where we are and see what we're doing because this is good. And it's time for you to come and see the great things that the teachers are doing and make KM a place where teacher and staff want to stay. Thank you.
Ryan Christensen. Ryan would like to talk about what's best for kids.
I love that phrase. I didn't come prepared like everyone else. I want to start with, we don't have an HR department here. If you're in another business, you have an HR. If you have a concern, you're being treated poorly, you're not being treated fairly, go to your HR rep. We don't have one of those. But the last couple of meetings, I've had a board member very snarky with me. I talked to you about Mr. Thompson, but I'm bringing it up to you all. 2 meetings ago, at the end of the meeting, they came up, looked at the camera that I use to record the meetings that you choose not to, and asked if I was grandstanding. Call me bud, you grandstanding? Not appropriate, not respectful. Simply kept recording. That's my ability to do as a citizen who pays taxes for this district. The next meeting on the 27th of November, you had a 3 o'clock meeting, and I didn't question whether any of you left work early and had permission from your bosses. But that individual questioned if I was on prep. I used union time and union dollars to leave early during my prep and was grading papers during your meeting. So yes, I was on prep, but I was approved by my principal and my union presidents. Questioning me if I can be at a meeting is not 50,000 feet. It's not respectful. It's borderline bullying at this point. And I'll say it, it's unacceptable. If you read on Facebook about how we have a bullying issue in our buildings, well, we have one right here. You've heard other people talk about how their sports staff members are treated by each other. You have a problem with someone here. We do. Last thing I want to say is we're $300,000 apart. You gave a contract to Mr. Matuska that's giving him roughly $200,000 to $300,000 in insurance pays over the next 7 years. There's your $300,000 difference. You chose to give him the contracts you did for the last 10 years. And they're on recording now. Everyone can see how you gave in at those meetings. 2 people questioned what was happening. Everyone else said, I don't need more than 15 minutes to approve this contract. Unacceptable. And how much time have you put into our contracts? Countless hours to defend not giving us fair pay. But you gave 15 minutes to approve one person to get a $300,000 bonus for leaving early. In insurance, you're paying him his entire insurance, and you can barely squeeze $100 a month for the people that are still here showing you loyalty. That's hypocritical. That's wrong.
Let's speak about negotiations.
All right, first of all, I can't talk like any of you folks who've been up here before. I'll do my best, but thanks for giving us the opportunity to speak. I do have a prepared statement here and then a few notes, and they've all heard the prepared statement behind me, but you haven't. And so I just want to read through it. Our contract expired July 1st, 2023, and we've been working without a contract since that time. During mediation today, KM's teachers and the school board started the day separated by about $440,000 over a 2-year contract. This equates to being separated by about 3.35%. At the end of the day, KMEM had moved $60,000 closer to the board's offer, whereas the school board moved about $41,000 closer to KMEM's position. At the end of the day, we are now separated by about $346,000 over a 2-year contract, give or take. KMEM represents 149 of 150 teachers at KM. We do not believe the current board offer is one that meaningfully addresses the challenges of KMEM teachers as they face rising health insurance costs, inflation, and a salary schedule that does not keep up with comparable districts in terms of compensation for veteran teachers with over 15 years experience. To highlight the health insurance, we started this almost a year ago now. Starting January 1st, 2024, a KM teacher will be paying $430 more per month for family health insurance than they did on December 31st, 2022. I do want to note as well that this is for about half the quality of policy, as the family deductible and individual deductibles nearly doubled for more money. If KM teaching staff were to accept the board's last and final offer, as pointed out earlier, This amount would decrease from $430 a month to a $280 a month increase in health insurance premium from what we saw on December 31st of 2022. That amount is $3,360 a year. Any increase, I want our members to know behind us and the community and the board, any increase annually in salary has to be reduced for those taking healthcare by $3,365 or $60 by the increase in premium borne by the employee. For many teachers, this means they will be taking home less money than they did before. Our health insurance issue is not going away. It is not being addressed. I made another note on this after listening, I think, to everybody, board members included today, about how proud it seemed we were of being offered, or we should be, of $150 one year and $100 the next. I want everybody to know that the projected increase in health insurance starting on January 1st, 2025 by our own district is more than 7%. They've offered us $100 for help next year on health insurance, while projecting at the same time at least $145 increase. That means we're going backwards another $45 a month. I heard earlier tonight, I think, I don't, from one of our board members, we only have so much in funds in our checking account. I totally get that. Go get another job. People mention a levy tonight. I know a lot of the people that I work with behind me as colleagues, educators together. I know a lot of the people behind me of all different age ranges. When their checkbook doesn't add up because of their salaries and the cut in benefits, they've gone and gotten another job because they've had to. Go get more money. We spend, I'll close with this. Well, two more pieces. We heard earlier that a lot of throwing around an 8% increase over 2 years. We fundamentally are not communicating on what these numbers mean through the negotiations process. We need to get better at that. Steps and lanes equate to about 4% of that 8%. I believe this is the number we've been told. That means that we are seeing salary schedule improvement of 2% on average each year. That's just not good enough when we consider inflation's been over 14%, and that 2% isn't going to come close to hitting the health insurance increases that we're being forced to absorb. So I ask that we take some time. It'll be hard work. Start communicating and using the same numbers so that people can understand truly how much our salary schedules are changing. If our salary schedule only changes 2% from 1 year to the next, we can't call that an 8% raise over 2 years. We spend our days making sure our kids and students are taken care of. People behind me do a great job. Couldn't be more proud to say that I'm part of the team with them. We also have an expectation that as we take care of our community's kids, that our school board take care of us. Your last and final offer is not taking care of us. I ask that we get back to the table as soon as possible. It might take a little bit of time to get there, but I think today complicated that matter to some degree. KMEM is taking a commitment to get back to the negotiating table with or without a mediator to get this mess figured out. Appreciate the time.
I just had a birthday, so I'm old.
Yeah, all right.
Oh boy, this is my first time in 34 years speaking to a school board.
Mike.
Kelly,
Oh, sorry.
there's a sign.
Technology. I've been a student and a teacher since 1972. Math, how many years?
A long time.
Yeah, it is. Think about that, 1972. I've been in 6 different districts, taught 2 different colleges, taught everything from kindergarten through college. No one's ever asked my opinion on anything about those things where I've been. How did Redwood do this? But that's a topic for another day. I just don't understand why it's so hard. I really don't. I really don't. I worked for a district one time. Their motto was, if it makes sense, don't do it. I swear to God, that's what we did. This was the best for kids. We did the exact opposite. I was like, you people are nuts. What are we doing? And I looked at our success of our students here, and it's unbelievable. I hear those young ladies talk that were sitting right here. That's from Kasson. That's KM. Unbelievable community. I've been here 11 years, 2 years at that elementary school, now 9 years at the middle school. And I've seen some unbelievable things happen. But where's the money going? Strengths Finder. I met with this lady for an hour. It was kind of like a bad date, but we got there. And in the end, she drew a picture. Anyone, what's the picture she drew of me? A giant. She drew a picture of a giant. Wow, how original is that? I'm 6'9". I didn't realize that. Every picture ever took, and where's Kelly go? Set her back. I know where I'm. I've been there doing that for a long time. And I guess I don't understand it. And I know you're looking at maybe you're going to have to give us more money. Teachers might leave. Trust me, they're going to find jobs. They're going to find jobs. I'm not a special ed teacher. Trust me. I do my job. I think I do it pretty well. But I guarantee I can find a job. I'm not going to lose anything. I mean, and I think that's something we have to look at. I looked at one time we had 4 adults come in my classroom for walkthroughs. 4 adults, 4 administrators. And he spent a total of maybe just a couple minutes. Mr. Larson, Ms. Kuyat, they know what I do. They know what I do. They don't need to come in. But come into the classroom, see what we do. Come into the buildings. Can't one time you and I talked and you're like, you didn't want to come to the buildings. We want to see you. You're good people. You are. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. You're great people in here. I guarantee you, every one of you had a teacher that you can look back to and said, that's my teacher. I've had a lot of them. And I'd like to think that maybe someday the students I work with, when they get in their 30s and they're older, they'll think that, Kelly Raymond, he really helped me. Because they're not going to do it now. The things I do aren't going to show up for a while. And I know that going in. There's not going to be any great teacher awards for me or anything like that. But I understand that. That's just the way it is. But come in the buildings, see what we do. And I think you'll really get an idea what we do. When my son got sick, and I think most of you know him, I seen what this community can do. I seen it. He's a 2016 graduate. And I seen what this community can do when it puts its heads together. Raising thousands of dollars. And again, we weren't here that long. Only a couple of years when he got sick. And I think people need to really, truly understand that this is an awesome community. Like I said, this is my 6th district. Will it be my last? I don't know. Who knows? But this is the best. And it's the best because of these people. You have to understand that. And they're not going to make it on what you're offering. If it's your final notice and we have to go out and strike, then we'll strike. I've been through a teacher strike before. It's what it is. I've been through a school closing. I've been down those roads. If it has to happen, it has to happen. If that's your final, it can't be. Because you have to be able to sit down and say, you know what, we are going to solve this problem. I put out fires all day long. That's all I do. Put one here, here's another one. I had 4 different bathroom issues today. 4 different kids. Think about that. One can go too much, one can't go at all. One doesn't know if he's going or not going. I don't know, we'll figure it out. And you have to understand that that's what we deal with. Come and see what we do. Come and truly see what we do every day. You are the tip of the spear here in this room. You are smart people. You are very, very smart. And we're trusting in you. I'm not going to sit here and ridicule you. You're all great people. You are. But we're asking for help. We're truly asking for help. I'm old. I'm 57. I know, I don't look it. I don't. It's a little slow back there. It's picking up. And do you want me teaching until I'm 70? Because that's what it's going to do. I hope to still be alive when I'm 70. If I'm teaching, that's even a bonus. So sit down, do what you have to do to fix it. Be a problem solver. Don't sit there and say, you know what, I don't care, lock yourself in the room and figure it out. You gotta throw beers at each other, you gotta fight each other, do what you gotta do, figure it out, be a problem solver. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Any others, Carlin? I didn't see. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Appreciate it. Appreciate that input. With that, we have a consent agenda that we still have to approve. Do we have a motion?
Can I interrupt real quick?
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say that the board is committed to taking the feedback and having these hard conversations regarding it. I can't promise any sort of solution, but I can promise that we are not just leaving it on our notes pads right here, but it will be brought up in the appropriate committees and as a board.
Thanks, Amy. Okay, consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Angie. In a second?
I'll second.
Thanks. Any other discussions on the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor of the consent agenda, state aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we are into action items, old business, the second reading of the listed policies there. Do we have a motion to approve the second reading and the approval of those listed policies?
I make a motion to approve the second reading revisions to the policies that are listed.
Thanks, Amy. In a second. Thanks, Mark. Okay, any discussion on those listed policies? Anything we should discuss? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the approval of the second reading and the approval of the listed policies, state aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. We're on to new business. You approve the 7.2.1, approve the 23 pay 24 levy certification for $7,169,494.53. Do we have a motion? Thanks, Brandon. In a second. Thanks, Kate. Any discussion on that levy approval and certification? Hearing none, all those in favor of the approval of the 23 pay 24 levy certification, state aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And we are on to informational items. Our next meeting is January 8th. It's a special meeting. It's an organizational meeting, 6 p.m. here in the high school community forum room. Anything else before we adjourn? Happy holidays, everybody. We will take a motion to adjourn. Thanks, Brenda.
I'll second.
Thanks, Kate. All those in favor of adjourn, say aye. Aye. Meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for coming out.
You can ask for it, or they have to provide it if it was at a meeting.
I'm just kidding.
You didn't take my sign down.
Yes, I district policies. 505 and 904. Jamison, you're done, right? Live, or you got sound?